have to stand so close. This is so awkward. Hey guys, welcome to today's video, and today I will be doing the bookshelf scavenger hunt, which is something that was really popular like years ago. I remember watching it when I started watching booktube like probably 5 years ago. I don't remember, but I decided to do it because it just sounded so fun, and I think it's gonna be fun because I don't own so many books in general. Like, I do, but I know there are booktubers out there who still struggle with this despite owning like hundreds, thousands of books, which is not the case with me. I just have like this thing here, and a small bookshelf there, like a bookcase there. So that is going to be definitely interesting, and let's just get on with it. So the first question or task is find an author's name or title with the letter Z in it. Oh. So for this one, I'm gonna go with something that was kind of easy to find, and that is Book Thief by Marcus Zusak. Next up is to find a classic, and I don't really have that many classics. I literally can't think of any. Oh, no. It's fine. We're going with The Little Prince by Antoine de Saint-Exupéry. Are you tired of me talking about this book? I know you are, because I'm not. But I know you are. I mention it in every single video. And also I really don't like the light. I'm gonna have to do something about it. But yeah, we're going with The Little Prince. It's a classic. It's a classic that is my absolute favorite book of all time. I don't think it's a stretch to say that. So obviously it's gonna have to be here. Next job is find a book with a key on the cover. And I don't want to go with Harry Potter because I feel like, oh, I think there's no key on the cover. I've seen people struggle with this one because like I don't know what book has a key on the cover. Okay, this is like, it's not specified what type of key we're talking about. So I'm actually gonna go with Magnus Chase and the Sword of Summer by Rick Riordan, because like the sword is the key to saving the world. I don't remember what this book is about. I mean, I kind of do. I think the sword is very significant, so it definitely fits that. So, you know, that is the key to save the world. Find something on your bookshelf that is not a book. The first thing I looked at, so we're going with this. This is a, I don't know what it's called, a flowering pot, a watering can? Yeah, isn't it a watering can? I think so. So this is what I'm going with. It's really pretty. It has like the map of the world on it, so I think it's pretty neat. Find the oldest book on your shelf, and I do not know how old this is, and this is not like my book, it's just a book that was lying around, but I thought it would be interesting to share. I haven't, like, there's no indication as to when it was printed, but this is a cookbook that my grandma used to use. I think that my dad just gave me to look through, and I guess it just stayed here. No idea when it was published. Probably like 19th century, I'm thinking, but I literally have no clue. But if not that, then the oldest book would be The Little Prince once again. What a surprise. And I think it was published in the 70s. 1971, so yeah. Find a book with a girl on the cover. I feel like this is one of the least challenging ones because there was a phase when all you would get on book covers is girls, like somehow, or just characters, but like a lot of girls. Oh, I'm gonna go with something I very rarely talk about, which is a book that I actually really ended up enjoying. And this is My Lady Jane by Brady Ashton, Cynthia Hand, and Jodie Meadows. And this is part of the Lady Jamies, I think, trilogy that is now getting like more books in this world specifically. I think next year one is coming out, but I just read this one and I couldn't get past book 2. it just didn't have that charm for me. But I really did enjoy this one. It's very like fun, lighthearted. There's a lot happening in this book and it's really fun and it's really funny. So that was a really good read. Next is find a book with an animal on the cover. I don't think I ever talked about this book. It's A Dog's Purpose by W. Bruce Cameron, and I feel like the movie was pretty popular like 3 years ago. And I actually listened to this on audiobook, and it was so heartbreaking. Like, this is one of the most heartbreaking books I ever read. I cried so hard at the end. It was just, I could cry just thinking about it. It was so heartbreaking, and I try not to talk about it because it just breaks my heart every time I do. But it was a really good book, that being said. I remember being very drawn into it and like just very into the plot, and I did not want to put it down, except I did because it broke my heart. But yeah, it obviously has a dog on the cover. Find a book with a male protagonist. That I am going with The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue by Mackenzie Lee, which in general feels like the type of book that My Lady Jane is, as in it's very laugh out loud and kind of lighthearted. It deals with some deep themes, but it's just a very fun, light book to read that will take you on an adventure with the protagonist, whose name I forgot, Monty. Very fun, very fun. Find a book with only words on it, and that is honestly so challenging. I actually managed to find something. It's Waiting for Godot by Samuel Beckett. This is a book we actually did for school like a while ago, and it was a book I really remember. I don't want to say I enjoyed, but it was very interesting in a good way, like not in a bad way. So it's actually a play about these two guys who stand somewhere and they're not doing anything for the entire play, but it's actually they're having like such a shallow conversation, but actually there's so much meaning behind it about life. I really enjoyed it. Find a book with illustrations in it, and I don't have many of those, if any, so that is going to be an interesting one. This was actually not as challenging as I thought. I'm going with The Language of Thorns by Leigh Bardugo, which is actually a book that I didn't enjoy very much, but because it's part of one of my favorite fantasy worlds of all time, I read it and it's still here because the illustrations are really beautiful. It's just filled with, like, each page is decorated with these really brilliant illustrations. It's really stunning. It's really impressive, and it's really beautiful, and I should probably reread it to end up loving it more, hopefully, this time, because I think the audiobook that I was listening to, and generally the time I was listening to this, and sort of how I tried to rush through it, did not add to the experience and definitely took away from it. So I should try to reread this one, but yeah, the cover is stunning, illustrations are stunning, so we're picking this one. Find a book with gold lettering on the cover. And I feel like this one should be easy. And I really hope I'm right. I really hope it's The Last Namzara by Kristen Ciccarelli, I think. Oh gosh, this book is so, like, the cover is so stunning. I feel kind of bad for picking books for this video that I don't really talk about often, because I am doing another video about books I don't talk about often, and now I'm talking about them all, but I'm just gonna ignore that. This is a fantasy book that I don't remember what it's about. There are some dragons in it, and there's a girl who basically has been living a lie or something. There's some intrigue, and it's a pretty good fantasy, I'd say. YA fantasy, but gold on the cover, so yeah, it fits. Find a diary. I assume my diary does not count for this one. I have no clue how this book is translated to English. It's by Rick Warren. It's like the Demigod Files? No, it's not. It's like the diaries. Demigod Diaries. I have no clue, but yeah, here it is. It's a diary. I'm so proud of myself. I'm doing so well. I thought this would be such a bad video and that I would just stop halfway because I wouldn't have any book that would fit the criteria. But here we are, and I'm actually doing pretty well. So, like, I'm so proud of myself. Find a book written by someone with a common name. It just occurs to me that all the authors that I read have really weird names that I really struggle to pronounce, and I've seen other booktubers struggle to pronounce, and that's just so interesting. Like, is this the reason we pick them up, because their names sound so uncommon? I I'm gonna have to think about this one. I can't find anything. I'm going to go with When All Is Said by Anne Griffin, because I think Anne is a common name. This is a book I haven't read, and I remember talking about it and just talking about it like in some of my videos a while ago. It's also such a pretty cover. Something about the cover just makes me want to pick it up and read it immediately, but I'm gonna put it down because I'm in the middle of like 5 books right now, so I should not be adding more to that list. Find a book that has a close-up of something on it. Oh my god, I would never expect myself to be able to pick up this book and talk about it. Like, this is such a nostalgic read that I forgot I owned this, and I'm sorry I can't translate it into English because it's in Polish, but I just needed to show it to you. It's a book in Polish we had to read like 10 years ago. I don't remember honestly, but I was really scared. I remember there were like these gigantic spiders, and it was a really scary book, and I don't know, like I don't understand why this was ever a book we had to read. I was terrified and horrified by it, but it just had to be here because like it has a close-up of someone's eyes. I think it was a boy, but there also has a spider web, and I'm not a fan of spiders, honestly. Find a hardcover book without a jacket, and this question is simultaneously hard and easy in the sense that a lot of the books I have in here were books that I bought in Polish, and in Poland we don't really do hardcovers with a jacket. Like, I have not seen such a thing ever happen, and I usually buy books in paperbacks as well, so I don't have many hardbacks. But since I do have Polish hardbacks, then they're just naturally without that jacket. Oh god, we're going with Chronicles of Narnia by C.S. Lewis. This is a book at the very beginning when I started this channel, I would keep on saying I'm gonna read it. Or did I keep on saying it? I feel like I did. Or in my mind, I kept on saying for the past 2 years, I'm gonna read it, because I was so obsessed with the movies. I still kind of am. I just haven't rewatched them in a while, but I was so obsessed with the movies, and I never enjoyed the books very much. I only liked the first book, and then I was so incredibly bored with the rest that I never got past them. But this is like a collection of the first 3 books, and I would really love to get into this, but something about me, I just don't like being very nostalgic about the past. I don't enjoy it, and I just feel so weird. So I've been postponing this for a very long time, and I hope to get to it someday because I really want to read the entire series, but also no, not yet, and not tomorrow, and not the day after tomorrow, and probably not this year. Find a teal turquoise colored book. I have no idea what teal is, but I think I know what turquoise is, so we're going with that. And the first book that actually comes to my mind is Little Fires Everywhere. Does this count? Can you please tell me this counts, because I thought there was a spider. Anyway, this is a book that has been lying here for a while. Smells pretty good. Oh, I thought the letters were smaller. I get so intimidated when the letters in a book are small because I'm like, it will take me forever to read a page, and then I'll be too tired to read the second page. So yeah, but anyway, this book, I haven't heard anything about it in a very long time, but it was pretty popular around the time the show was coming out too. I kind of want to read it, but I also don't know when that will happen. Find a book with stars on it. And for this one, I'm going with, does it have stars? It does have stars. The Girl of Ink and Stars by Kellen Millward Hargrave. I don't remember much about it. I remember enjoying it and being slightly confused by it. I think it was a bit weird with the plot at times. It sort of didn't make much sense to me. I don't know, but it was also one of the first books I read in English, as in actually read it in English for my own enjoyment rather than for school. I was good at English at the time, I just didn't really enjoy reading in English because it used more of my brain power than I would like it to. But yeah, this was, oh, I have some note in here. It's a pretty beautiful book in the sense that it has a really beautiful cover and it has a small map on the inside. But this was a pretty unique story, I'd say. It's a middle grade unique story. Find a no YA book, and that is pretty easy. It's not. I'm going with The Book of Tea by Kakuzo Okakura, which I don't think I've ever talked about. This is a book I bought when we were on holiday, and there was this beautiful bookstore, and I already was reading in English at that time because I made this like switch into English books because I thought, why read translated books if I don't have to? But I saw this book and I thought it was written in, I think, Japanese, right? And so I thought, it doesn't matter if I buy it in English or in Polish because either way it was translated. So maybe I can buy it and support this really beautiful bookstore that I'm in. But it turns out the book was originally written in English, which I didn't know about. I was so convinced it was written in Japanese, but I don't know. I was just really confused. Anyway, I got this and it is a really pretty edition. My friend was reading it at the time and I thought, I want to read it too, so I don't know what it's about. I am assuming it's about tea, so yeah. And that is actually it for this challenge, and it was very fun, and I'm really surprised I managed to sort of quickly find a book for each one of these questions because I did not assume that would be the case. But maybe I actually do have quite a few books to choose from, which I'm happy to know about. I feel good knowing that. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this video, and I'm wondering if you have a book with a key on the cover. I dare you to try to check that out. And I hope you're having a really good day. I hope you're doing okay. I hope you're staying safe. And I hope to see you very soon in my next video. Bye!